All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our live. I'm going to adjust this. There we go. All right. So, today I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about heart led abundance. And some of the things I'm going to be covering are how to discern what's right for you through a heart body connection, and why authenticity will manifest your desires way faster than anything else will. And anything else you guys have questions on. So, welcome everybody. Welcome at Moon Spirit. Great to see you here. Welcome, Z. Hi, everybody. And feel free to drop in the chat where you're joining from. It's always nice to connect with you. The more you guys engage, the more it helps me to energetically connect with you. And it's just more fun for everybody that way. So, why is this training important? Why are we going to talk about heart led abundance? So, for one, this is for anybody who wants to create more abundance in their life, be that financial abundance, be that health, be that richness in your relationships, in your career, in your fulfillment. Yeah, so abundance and what it means to you. Feel free to drop it in the chat. What does abundance look like to you? And sometimes people ask, what does success look like to you? You can kind of phrase it that way too, because everyone's version of this is different. So, what does abundance look like to you? And sometimes if we get caught up in someone else's version of what society says is successful and try to strive towards that, it's not going to be fulfilling. So this training is important because if you pursue your dreams from a place of authenticity, you'll be creating a life that, if you don't if you don't pursue it from authenticity, you'll create a life that you've manifested that you might not feel like you belong in, because it wasn't something that actually came from a desire from within you, from your own heart, your own being, maybe coming from a societal imprint of what success should be. So it's really powerful to drop into your own space, your own heart, your own body, and discover what is it that you truly want. Because then when you actually get it, you're going to be happy. It'll feel like it's a life you belong in. It'll be fulfilling because it's something that you actually want. So sometimes we can miss that step, or I don't think it's really taught much in our society how to drop in and find out what that is and what it feels like in your body. So I'm going to be talking about that today so that when you do work towards the things you want to have in your life, they're things you're going to actually be able to enjoy. So Z said, I'm glad you came up too. I'm so glad you're here, Z. The freedom to do what you love. So what abundance means to you. Beautiful. I love that. Sam, exactly what I need. Hey, Sam, glad you made it. Good. So glad we're on the same page here, guys. And so I don't know if anyone else has been here, but I've been here before where I was pushing and pushing and pushing, working really hard to achieve a version of success that I believed I wanted. And we were shooting weddings, and I was just grinding away trying to be busy because I believed that busy equaled success. And so I just worked really, really, really hard. We ended up photographing over around 50 weddings and couple sessions, engagements, and all over the country and all over the continent. And it was just exhausting. And it ended up bringing me into a place of burnout in my body and triggering a chronic illness that took years to come out of. And there was a process of healing that chronic illness, and that burnout was a process of learning how to listen to my body and how to listen to my heart and release the conditioning that I had picked up on through society, through generations, like generational beliefs and imprints in my DNA and my psyche and my upbringing. Things that we all get exposed to. It's just part of life here. It's part of the awakening journey into coming into who you are, is having these things to face and decide if they are actually for you or not. So that happened to me, and I was pushing, 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 working really hard, busy, 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 but I was sick and I wasn't fulfilled and happy. So I had to stop and pause and learn how to listen to my heart and my body. Because if we don't listen to that, eventually the body will always be able to veto you. You can push it really far, and it's amazing what the body is capable of doing. But if we're not in alignment and we push and push, push and push, eventually the body's going to say no more. And so that's what had happened with me. And so it was a process of discovery of learning how to actually listen to what I wanted. And so my wish for you guys is to be able to drop into that place of listening and being able to understand what your heart is trying to tell you, what your body is trying to tell you, so that you don't have to go through burnout and things like chronic illness, so that you can skip all that and move into a path of fulfillment and abundance that feels alive and good in your whole being. Because when we're striving and working and working and working, sometimes when we get to what we want, so for example, if there's a woman who believes that she needs to be a successful lawyer because that's what she's been told as a kid, and that's what she's been told from society, like this is going to be a success. Get the career, get the house, get the things, and then you're set. But then maybe she gets all those things and she doesn't feel whole. She doesn't feel fulfilled. She definitely doesn't feel happy. And that can feel even worse when you get that and you're not happy, because it can feel like I'm never going to be happy. It can feel like there's something wrong with me. I got what I wanted. I got what I worked my butt off for, and I'm still not happy. I guess there's no hope for me. But that's not true. There is hope, and it is a birthright for everyone to be able to be happy. But what she needs to do, instead of working harder for success, for having more, she needs to pause and go inside and listen to what she really wants, not what she thinks she should want or society has told her is good and right, but what she actually wants. And that's when we start digging into truth. And that can take some courage to move away from people pleasing and move into who am I? What do I want truly? It's a matter of quieting the outside world, dropping in, and learning the language of the heart, learning the language of the body, of what joy feels like in your body. Because these are the things that help you to discern does it feel joyful? Does it feel good in my body? Versus does it feel draining? Does it feel restrictive? This is your body's lie detection on what is aligned for you and what is not. Things that are aligned on your path are going to feel freeing. They're going to feel joyful. Things that are not for you are going to be draining. They're going to feel restrictive. And so this is how you can learn to discern what's right for me, what's not right for me. This is one of the steps of really getting into the body. This is kind of step one. And sometimes it's easier said than done. Some people are really in their body, and some people not so much, because we've learned to live in our minds, to be really mind-based so that we can create what we want in our life, because our society is very mind-based. Maybe we're taught that's valued in our society, and there is value to that. But the mind is not where the wisdom comes from. It's not where the deep vision and knowing of the soul is connected to. That comes through the heart. And that's the place that I want to show you guys how to drop into, because that's really where things are going to start shifting. So I'd love to hear if this is resonating for you guys. And I'd love to hear are you feeling called to shift a little bit, to move more into what is more fulfilling for me versus what a version of success that might not be mine, that I'm ready to maybe pull back from, so that I can listen more to my heart, to my inner world. Z says, so the mind sometimes gets in the way, actually. Yeah, 100%. So the mind is an amazing servant. It is a terrible leader. Terrible leader. So the mind is great when we connect with the heart, we drop in, we're able to experience and feel and know what we truly want, what's right for us next. And then once we've decided on that, the mind can get to work on making that happen step by step. The mind is great at linear steps, at creating things, at creating form out of chaos. But we first have to drop into that space through the heart to know where and why. Where are we going? Why are we going there? Why does it matter to us? And so this is really where we can connect with our path in life, with our soul path, with what we really choose and come here to do. The mind doesn't have that capacity. So the mind has to learn in those moments to quiet, to allow, to back off so that we can hear what the heart has to say. And it's a process, it's a journey, it's a practice. It's not just a matter of catching yourself. I'm like, oh, am I working really, really hard and am I pushing, pushing, pushing? Maybe I'm in my mind. That's a good indicator you're in your mind. When we do things like drop into the subconscious mind, it's a process of allowing. When we drop into the body, which the subconscious mind is interwoven all throughout the body, helping you do things like breathe without having to think about it, and your heart beating. It's all this intelligence within the body connected to the mind. So when we drop into that deeper wisdom, that part of us that is being instead of doing, we're able to hear and gather greater insight and understanding of what we're meant to be doing, of what's really aligned for who we truly are. And so in order to do that, the mind has to allow. And so it can be counterintuitive at first. Instead of working hard and focusing hard, which is the conscious mind, to find out all the answers, that's just blocking. It's really a process of breathing, of coming into the body, of listening and allowing. And there's absolutely ways of doing this very powerfully and potently in a very direct way. And I guide people through that in my classes, and I'll talk more about it at the end. A membership that's going to be opening up very soon that I'm incredibly excited about for all of you guys. So there's ways of doing that together in a very focused, direct path. But in the beginning, if you're just practicing this on your own, just start with getting into your body. Just start with feeling, what do things feel like? So for example, if you're thinking about a career path, or if you're thinking about moving to another place or buying a home, a new partner, think about them, that thing, that path, and feel how it feels in your body. Think about that course you're considering taking and drop into your body. Does it feel restrictive or does it feel freeing? Does it feel, the thought of it feel draining, or does it feel expansive? So these are the two polarities, light and dark, restrictive, freeing. These are ways you can recognize if something is aligned for you. And there are other layers to that. There could be something, beliefs blocking you for something that could be good for you. But just to get started, just practice. How does this feel in my body? If you're going to eat something for lunch, and you think about that food, does it feel expansive and light in your body, or does it feel dense and heavy? That's your body's way of telling you, I want this, I don't want that. And so sometimes the mind can have an idea of, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a burger for lunch. It's going to be so good. It's happened to a friend of mine. When she started practicing listening to her body, I'm so excited, I'm going to get some burger and fries. I'm starving. This is going to be so good. And then she listened to her body. How does this feel in my body? Oh, it feels really negative. Dang, maybe I'll get something else. And so it's a practice of conditioning the mind to learn how to listen to the body instead of decide everything. Because there's a lot more wisdom going on throughout the whole of our being than just in the mind. So Sam says, when I think of abundance, it's hard to picture what that looks like. And when I think about it, when it comes down to it, I already have abundance. So how do I build on that? So that's a really great question. It is really, abundance kind of is a frequency, right? And so things start with a frequency as an energy. Everything is made of energy. And then it turns into form, into our 3D reality. So you can be absolutely abundant and grateful for everything you have in your life. And as you practice this, like, oh, I love my home, my family, the trees around my house, the sun shining. I love being able to breathe, having this body. So just dropping into that frequency of gratitude and appreciation is moving you into that space. Now, because you're grateful, it doesn't mean you can't welcome in more. In fact, it's the opposite. As you're grateful, it makes it easier to welcome in more because you're already in that frequency of abundance, of appreciating. So when you're in that space of feeling grateful, I am grateful for having this in my life, for having that in my life, think of the thing you want to call in. I'm grateful for this career path. I'm grateful for this milestone. I'm grateful for this beautiful home. I'm grateful for this next piece that I'm calling in. So start with the things you already have that you're grateful for this, grateful for that, grateful for that. And then think of what you want to call in as if it were already here as well. And bring that into that frequency of abundance, of gratitude, of appreciation. And as you practice this, you can practice this regularly, you can practice this every day, as much as you like, you can't overdo it. You're going to be calling that in, calling in what you desire. You're going to be doing it from a place of appreciating it as if it were already here. That's going to be making you an energetic match for what you desire. Grateful, abundant, welcoming it in. So as you do this and practice this, your subconscious mind is going to start believing that you already have it, and then it's going to pretty quickly get to work into making that your 3D reality. This, what the subconscious mind believes to be real, is what it manifests in your life, for better or for worse. So let's make it what you want. All right. So I'm going to keep moving along here, and feel free to drop any questions or thoughts in the chat as I go, you guys. Okay. Sam says something that happens is a fear comes in, like, what if this will not be what I actually want? Okay, so that can be multi-layered. It could be doubt, could be fear tied to doubt, like, oh, I don't know if this is really it. So I would practice dropping into your body. Think about that thing, and just like first fill up with white light. Imagine you're filled up with white light, and that's going to help just quiet thoughts and doubts and beliefs for a moment. Fill up with light. Imagine light pouring into you from all directions. Imagine yourself glowing with white light. And then think about that thing you're considering calling in. And then notice, how do you feel in your body? Does it feel freeing, or does it feel restrictive? If it's freeing, that's a pretty clear sign, yes, this is something that's good for me. This is aligned for me. If it feels restricted, it could be either that it's not aligned for you, or that there's beliefs tied up in it causing you to feel that it's not. And so then you might have some unpacking to do for it, or move towards a different manifestation. So I would start with practicing that in the body. How does it feel in my body? Great comments, you guys. So I'm going to dive in a little bit more into this process and this practice. So something that I'm going to be covering in my membership is these step-by-step method for, hello Wendy, welcome. So glad you're here. I'm going to be covering this step-by-step method for manifesting what you want in an authentic way that's led by the heart. And so this is really about creating a life that you love, that is deeply fulfilling, that is full of abundance. And, it's funny in our society, I feel like there can be these imprints of what we see examples of people who are successful, but maybe not feeling aligned or fulfilled. Like, they have financial success, they have career success, but then they don't seem happy. And so they're rich in one way, but they're poor in another. And it doesn't have to be that way. And I would wager that when you're rich in all aspects of your life, you're even richer in things like financial abundance and relationships and health, because it all comes together. All of these things are a pillar of what makes up our whole being, of what makes up our well-rounded sense of happiness. So if you're rich in one aspect, but you're poor in another, you're not really rich. So this process is about coming into wholeness, coming into abundance and prosperity in all aspects of your life, so you can actually really enjoy it. Because if you're super rich, but you're sick, if you're financially wealthy, but you're sick, then you can't really enjoy that fully. If you are wealthy, but your relationships aren't great, you're not feeling fulfilled or like this is the life for you, then this doesn't really matter as much, does it? It's really about coming into all aspects of yourself and creating abundance and prosperity in every part of you, so you can really enjoy it fully, so you can really be nourished and fulfilled by it. That's what life is about. It's what's meant to be, is this flowing in of being nourished by life, by source, by nature, by the universe, by consciousness. You don't have to do it all alone. That's really hard and a recipe for burnout. It's about being nourished, and then from that place, from this knowingness within your heart, within your soul, within your body, of what your path looks like, moving forward in steps in that direction, and bringing that energy in and flowing it back out. So it's really about dropping into your most authentic, natural way of being, which is already abundant, which is already free, which is already full of purpose and vision. And so there's a part of you that knows exactly what you want to do, that knows the path is like these blueprints in your soul when you came into this world, and you have support of divine consciousness here to help you. So it's a matter of learning these steps to find that, to be in that flow that is already natural to you on a very deep level. It's a matter of deconditioning, of learning how to listen to it and be in that space. And that's the practice. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about what those steps look like. So we have 5 steps. We have aware, clear, envision, do, and be. I'm going to unpack each one a little bit here. So stage 1, when you're wanting to manifest a life that you love, that is fulfilling, when you're wanting to shift out of one state and pattern and into another, stage 1 is awareness. So awareness is where you have a desire for more abundance, more peace, more fulfillment in your life, and you're driven to do whatever it takes. You're called to create a life that you love, that your soul is craving. So if any part of you feels stuck, stopped, blocked, restricted, there's something that's restricting your natural essence and way of being, the natural freedom that is you. And so step 1 is awareness. It starts with, there's something that I'm not feeling fully aligned. I have a desire for more. And sometimes we can feel guilty when we have a desire for more, like, oh, I already have so much. Why do I want more? That's a beautiful thing, to have a desire for more, because more can mean evolution. It can mean growth. It can mean deeper fulfillment, being of even deeper service. More doesn't have to be tied to greed. More can be a desire for evolution and expansion and awakening and service. So this can be the light. There's a light and shadow side of everything. So dropping into the light side, you're called to more. Beautiful. There's a desire within you to step forward and expand. That is awareness. This is stage 1. Because without the desire, why would we grow? Without some sort of catalyst, why would we grow? So it starts with awareness, it starts with that desire. And the mantra for stage 1 is, I become aware of what is unconscious with curiosity and compassion. So we are moving through life largely through these unconscious beliefs and patterns within our subconscious mind. Things that we get imprinted with when we are very young, in this lifetime, in other lifetimes, through our ancestry, through the collective consciousness and societal programming. All of these things become layers in our unconscious programming. And so awareness stage is really about becoming conscious of what is unconscious. And this is something that we go through in my membership, which will be launching soon. This is something that we go through. There's very specific ways of doing this. There's through journaling, through meditations, through guided meditations. There's lots of ways of powerfully dropping into our unconscious and finding what it is that has been blocking us. And sometimes, like, we will often try to consciously move, like try to figure out what is it, why am I stuck? But it's not in the conscious mind. Those answers are in the subconscious. So it's about learning how to drop into that place and extract information there and bring it into our conscious awareness so that it can be shifted. All right. Let me know if this is resonating with you guys. And as I'm saying these things, I'm going to go into the next stages. Maybe think, like, what stage do I feel like I'm largely in right now? And you may be in a number of stages in various aspects of your life, but just see if one is you're feeling called to more at this time. So stage 2 is clear. In this clear stage, you have awareness of the patterns, feelings, and thoughts that have been blocking you from your manifestation. So we've made the unconscious conscious. And you're ready to begin transforming and releasing these blocks so you can move forward and creating an abundant life you love. So, what might the clear stage look like? So, for example, maybe you've done a lot of talk therapy and you have a lot of awareness of where the issues are coming from. That is great. But the next stage is to clear them. Clear them from your subconscious, your body, your energetic field, matrix, from all time, space, and realities. We do it in a very thorough way. And we can clear by in a way that is also honoring and loving and compassionate and kind, because a lot of these unconscious patterns are tied to parts of us from when we were younger that had to find ways to cope. And that was the best tool that we had at the time. So, for example, if when you were younger, your parents argued a lot and you didn't have any other options, maybe your nervous system said we're going to cope by shutting down. So we're just going to sleep. We're going to go sleep until it feels safe to come back out. And maybe that's a pattern you bring with you in your life. When something becomes stressful and difficult, shut down and step away. And really, it's about bringing love and compassion and understanding to these patterns, because they're just tied to parts of us that just didn't feel safe and just had to find ways to cope. So it's really about being loving as we shift and transform these things, these patterns within the subconscious, within our nervous system, within our energetic field. So the mantra for stage 2, for clear, is I become aware of what is unconscious. Oop, nope, that was stage 1. Let me drop down. Bum, bum, bum. The mantra for stage 2 is I release, clear, and unstory everything that has been blocking me from all time, space, and realities. So this is a really powerful and potent clearing statement. We use it a lot in my membership and the work that I do with my clients. And this is a matter of dropping into connecting with light, connecting with the divine, dropping into your internal power, dropping into what you say is powerful and real, because you are a powerful being. And from that space, commanding that you release, clear, and unstory everything that has been blocking you and holding you back. And this is a mantra that is great to repeat multiple times. So if you are confronting something, if you're in a situation where you feel very triggered or activated or stuck or avoidant, whatever it is, you don't have to understand all of the details of it in order to let it go, in order to shift it. So you can simply say, I release, clear, and unstory everything this is. I clear, I release, I unstory everything this is from all time, space, and realities. And it can become a mantra where you simply say, I release this, I release this, I release this, because it's layers. Every time we make that command, we're releasing another layer of it. We're going deeper and deeper and deeper. So I've done this where I've used clearing statements for an hour, really shifting a lot of big, deep stuff that I didn't need to know all of the details of. Often it becomes clear in my mind as it's being released. I'm seeing it, I'm processing it, but however you experience this is perfect. So this is a really powerful and potent way to take your power back and release what is no longer serving you, because you have that. We all have that. That is our birthright. We're all very powerful beings. The joke is really just when we forget that we are, because we are. So Z says, a process I feel I really need to go through right now. Yeah, that's beautiful, Z. So that's awareness, that recognition, that understanding is very powerful. So it's just a matter of being loving and compassionate and curious. And when you feel like you're in a place where you don't like that heavy, dense energy, then I release and clear everything this is. I release it, I clear it, I release it, I clear it. And just like let that be a mantra. And that's shifting and transforming. It's shifting the patterns in your mind, your energetic field, your body, your nervous system. It's very effective. So let it be a practice. And I find with these clearing statements, it's really a matter of remembering that you can use them for anything. So sometimes in the past, I've gotten stuck in energy for some time because my mind was going through these unconscious motions, unconscious patterns, playing out in energy, motions, beliefs, past experiences were just getting stuck in my body, becoming denser and denser. And so I felt more and more tired, more depressed, more agitated, more stuck, until I remembered, wait a minute, I can clear all of this. And just spent time doing that. Now, this is very helpful and powerful to do with a guide, and that's something that we do in my membership together. But you also have this capacity to do this on your own. So take advantage of that. You are a powerful being. Remember that. All right, so stage 3 is the next stage in this process of manifesting from a place that is of authenticity, of connection with your heart, of what will actually be really deeply fulfilling for you. So stage 3 is envision. And this stage is all about connecting with your future self, connecting with your higher self, your soul, to see the divinely guided life that calls to you. So envisioning enables you to see and feel where you're meant to be going next, helping you to open a door to that new reality and take action that moves you towards it. So what does that mean? What does that look like? So in my membership, what I do is together as a group, I guide people into dropping into their inner vision, into their subconscious mind, into connecting with their soul. And from this place, welcoming in their future self and looking and seeing and feeling, what does their life look like? What are they doing? What messages do they have for me today, right now? And this is a beautiful guided journey that we go through where we allow our future self to guide us into where we're meant to be going next. Because we drop in, we connect with a version of our future and where we are living in flow, in purpose, in our deeply fulfilling, abundant life. Because that version of you exists. Because time is something that we experience linearly in through the physical form. So time and space is a facet of 3D physical matter, but our consciousness is not limited by time and space. We can move forward in time, we can move backward in time. Our consciousness can connect with a future version of us who is already in that life, in that abundance, in that flow, in that freedom that we want, and then then from there we can experience what it looks like, what it feels like, and receive messages from our future self. So this is a very beautiful and potent way of envisioning what's meant to come next. And this is a matter of dropping into your heart, dropping into your soul, connecting with divine consciousness, and from that place receiving the messages of where to go. So the mind quiets, we connect with the heart and the soul, and then the guidance comes through from that place, always through the heart. Okay? So it's not a matter of trying to figure out what to do next. It's a matter of allowing that guidance, that wisdom, those next steps to drop into us. Once we've received that, we know what to do. Then the mind can be like, oh, I need to do this next and that next. I'll get to work. But it needs to be led. It's a great servant. The mind is not meant to be a leader. That's where the heart comes in. That's where divine consciousness comes in. All right. So the next stage, I'm going to have some tea first. One sec. The next stage, as we're manifesting from a place of authenticity from the heart, is stage 4, which is do. So stage 4 is all about taking aligned action on the divine guidance that you receive. So after you've envisioned your elevated future, the future that is deeply aligned with your soul, with your spirit, with your heart, you ask yourself, what is the next step? And then you take one step at a time while continuing to check in regularly with your higher guidance. So you receive the higher guidance from this place. Okay, great. What's the next thing I need to do in creating this? And you're already connected, you're already in flow. It's going to come through. You will be guided in those steps. And if at any point you feel stuck, it's time to reconnect with your higher guidance. So doing is a part of manifestation. It is a part of creating things in our 3D world. It's not all of it, but it's definitely a crucial step. So once we have released, we understand the awareness of there's something where something's not quite on track. There's something that's not quite as, I have a desire for more. There's the awareness. We begin making the unconscious conscious and shifting and transforming those blocks that have been preventing us from moving forward. Now we have the space to connect with the heart, with the soul, and envision where we're meant to be going next. We receive that guidance and then we do. We take aligned action. so that we can create our manifestation into our 3D reality. Now, sometimes we can, there's the 80-20 trap, and that's this misconception where we need to be doing 80% of the time and 20% of the time connecting and reflecting and feeling where we're meant to go next, where it's really the other way around. 80% our frequency, our state of consciousness, connecting with divine guidance, and 20% doing. And when you do it this way, it's a lot less exhausting. You're going to avoid burnout, you're going to avoid grinding, you're going to avoid creating something that isn't necessarily fulfilling for you. So when we take that time to drop in to know where we're meant to be going, we get the directions, we get the map, and then it's a matter of just moving forward in the map. Okay. And I'd love to hear how this is going for you guys. Just drop in the chat. Is this resonating with you? Are you feeling like you're at any particular stage right now? For a lot of people, you will be in the awareness stage. But maybe you have been getting lots of downloads, lots of visions of things coming in where you're meant to be going next. And then maybe you are in the envision stage. So just drop in. Where do you feel like you're resonating most with right now? So the mantra for stage 4 for doing is, I become who I need to be by doing what I need to do. So it's interesting thinking about that, because sometimes the mind can feel that everything has to be perfect, that I have to have it all figured out, that I need to know it all, and the elements and stars and everything must be aligned in this perfectly orchestrated way in order for me to take action. But that's not going to happen, because we live on Earth, and that is a really messy, beautiful, perfectly imperfect world. So as we do, we learn. As we do, we become. And as we do, we understand, and we step into that frequency of doing. And you continue listening to your higher guidance and checking in if you feel stuck. But the doing is a place where we become, where we're forged into that. And so you don't have to be perfect, be there in order to take the steps to getting there. Sometimes that mind can try to, like, it can get a little stuck on that. So it's in doing that we become who we need to be. Z, this is great. I'm glad it's resonating with you. Awesome. Okay. So the next step is stage 5, and that is B. So B is about embodying and maintaining a high frequency that matches your desired manifestation. And we do this through the practice of the previous stages of awareness, of clearing, of envisioning, and doing. So you have created, in this stage, you've created massive momentum in your life, and you sustain it by continuing to show up for yourself in your personal practice and in your community, because we all develop blind spots. So having a community and a space where someone can support you and making the unconscious conscious so it can be shifted, it enables you to move much faster and a much more direct path without getting stuck on blind spots that could be blocking you from even greater growth and expansion and ease and flow. So being is about sustaining. So sometimes we go through this manifestation process, we clear, we envision, we do the work, we get what we wanted. Great, amazing, beautiful, life is awesome. But then we stop our practice. We stop bringing the unconscious to our conscious awareness. We stop connecting with spirit. We stop the practices that got us that manifestation. We've got it, great, the goal's been achieved. But this is not a one and done process, it is a practice. So it's about maintaining that high frequency so that you can be an energetic match for what you want to create in your life. And it's about envisioning from your higher self what's next. Now, this isn't about not enjoying what you've created. Absolutely do that, relish it, love it, soak into it, and be in it, be grateful for it. But we want to continue growth. We want to continue on our path. So this is about continually growing, continuing your practice of manifestation. And I've done this where I did all this manifestation work. I created these incredible things in my life. Like, great, I'm good for a while. And then things started dipping down. My consciousness started dipping down. My frequency started dipping down because I wasn't continuing my practice. And so when I realized that and I got back into it, things started picking back up and growing and expanding in beautiful synchronistic ways that I could never have expected. And it was because I came back to the practice. So this is a practice, the steps that I teach in my membership and that we do together, because this is a really powerful part, is not just understanding something consciously, but embodying it through practice, through doing. And I found the most powerful way of doing this in my work has been through community, has been through coming together with a shared intention for expansion, for growth, of connecting with divine consciousness, the energy of spirit, of source, of God, however you call that, and relate to that, being guided by that, coming together, and then potently moving through these steps and connecting with our higher self, knowing what we're meant to do next, following through on that, clearing blocks as they come up. So it's a continual journey. And that's just kind of how it is on earth. We come here to continue growing and evolving, and there's no limit to that, of what that can be. But as we're doing it, we're also being nourished by universal energy of source, of spirit, of the universe, of God, however you connect with that. We're being nourished and we're moving forward. And this is the flow of giving, of receiving, and evolution. And so it is a practice if you want for that to continue being. We don't inhale once and exhale and then it's done. We're continually in flow of the in breath and the out breath. And that's what keeps us nourished. And so that's why I created this work as a membership. It's going to be opening up tomorrow, and I'm super excited. So if you guys have questions about it and you want to learn more about it, then hang on, and I'm going to be talking about that next. So the membership is really a place where we can come together weekly and shift and release things that have been blocking us, stopping us, holding us back from creating the life we really want to have. And it's a place that we can come together as a practice, as a community, and continually do this work, to be accountable to ourselves, to each other, and to be supported and nourished in a sacred container where our energy is focused through shared intention and the support of divine consciousness to help move us forward. And I want to know if you guys have any questions or any thoughts on any of that so far, of the stages I shared, and where you think you might be in those stages. Are you kind of in the awareness area? Are you in the clearing space, envisioning? Are you doing? Are you in a space of being and practicing and maintaining? I'm really curious to hear where you guys feel like you kind of drop into in this framework. And I created the membership because I wanted to help people through connecting with spirit and connecting through these practices. And also, I found a lot of things that can cause us to get stuck or not move forward are things like trying to do it all by yourself. And so when we try to do it all by ourselves, we're not able to see our blind spots as clearly because they're within us unconsciously. And so it can be extremely helpful to have others be a mirror for us, help us see and rapidly release those things that we are not consciously aware of. Other things that can happen that can block people from moving forward are not realizing if your manifestation is a version of success that is authentic to you. And so I wanted to give you guys a space to connect in with your heart, connecting with your higher self and your vision so that you can be creating from an aligned place, a place that feels good and freeing and joyful in your body. So Z says, I fluctuate. The stage of being and doing is incredible, but it definitely means letting go of the stronghold of the mind. Yeah. And so sometimes when you're in that space of doing and being and creating and it's amazing, and the mind can be like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is a lot. I don't know if I'm ready for this. There's a lot of change. It's unfamiliar. So it's your mind's job to keep you alive. It's not its job to keep you happy. So it is solely focused on survival. And the mind gravitates towards what it knows because it believes it to be safer. So even if what it knows is feeling stuck or blocked, it's going to hang out there as much as it can because that feels familiar. And if what it doesn't know is expansion, is freedom, is peace, another layer of prosperity, another layer of visibility, that can feel really scary to the mind because it's new. It's unfamiliar. And so we work on things like expanding our frequency within our body and our nervous system, our capacity to hold more energy, more abundance, to have a calm, centered foundation for an even bigger life. We work on that. We also work on helping the mind to accept what is coming into its world and to allow it, so that we can avoid things like self-sabotaging, like holding on the brakes, like blocking or stopping. And so there's layers, this multi-layered process of helping the mind to feel safe in expansion, safe in growth. So Sam says, feel stuck in the envisioning space, like daydreaming all the time, all kinds of random ideas, so it's hard to move into doing. Okay, great feedback, Sam. Thank you. So for that, it's a matter of being in that envisioning space, but then let's make some tangible steps to moving forward. What is the next step? What do I need to be doing? And does that step feel good in my body? Does what I'm envisioning feel good in my body? So learning to discern, what are these dreams feeling like? And then learning to discern, where is this next step taking me? So it's a practice of feeling into the body and maybe journaling more as well. So choosing one vision at a time and then taking the steps. Okay, the next step in this, kind of like reverse engineering. All right, I've created this particular vision in my life. What did I do to get there? What was the step before that? What was the step before that? And so just taking that and making it more grounded into the 3D reality can help go from dreaming into doing. Okay. He says, to get some things done and move forward, you almost need to silence the mind. Yes, definitely. And that's the dropping in, the envisioning part, the listening part. Yeah. Beautiful, guys. All right, so some of the pitfalls that can happen when we're in this process, when we're in these steps, and you guys have been kind of sharing some of the things. These are just the things that we want to recognize so that we can move through them. So some of the things that can happen are believing that you have to grind and push to be successful instead of listening and trusting. So sometimes there's times to be active, but doing it from an aligned place where we know that this is the next step for us because it feels right in our body, because the vision feels right in our heart and soul and in our body. So we move away from grinding and into flow. And then we move away from things like burnout and into fulfillment. So Erica says, I wish I could comment more right now, but I'm okay. How much membership costs? Yes, I'm going to be getting to that, Erica. I'm going to be announcing it tomorrow, and there's going to be a whole page that gives you all of the details for it, as well as pricing and everything. But send me a DM, and I'm happy to give you more information that way as well. Okay, so other things that can like be a block to creating what we want to create is the layers of conditioning and blocks that prevent you from being able to listen to your heart and your higher guidance. So maybe you've tried like, okay, I just need to drop in and listen. But when you try that, maybe it's through meditation, maybe going for a walk, but maybe when you sit and meditate, it just feels like more anxious or your thoughts are racing and it's hard to drop in and listen. So there's a certain ways that we can move through that in a very gentle and rapid way, compassionately working through those blocks, those beliefs, those patterns, that energy in the body and releasing it from that space. So getting support and moving through those blocks can be very powerful because you can be held and nourished. Something that we do together in the membership is I use these clearing statements once we're in the sacred, divinely supported energetic container, and we're able to shift and release things in a very rapid way. So it's kind of like being held in this loving space and coming with an open heart and an open mind, a readiness to shift. And then together we're able to get a lot done in a very quick amount of time. And so this is really about creating a lot of momentum and a lot of expansion in a way that feels safe and sustainable through community, through intention, through understanding how to do these steps to create what you want. So I'm going to be dropping it in the Facebook group tomorrow, Z, where we can access the subscription, the membership. So I'm officially launching it. All the access will be available tomorrow. But if anybody wants like some information and info, like if you want to get exclusive access to it, then send me a DM and I will happily send it to you in advance. All right, so what else have we got here? Let me just moving down my notes. Another thing that can block us from moving forward is feeling worthy. Now, this is something that can be very, very unconscious and a deep programming from our childhood, because a lot of the time this can happen as we're young, as we're kids. We often make external situations. We often feel responsible for things that other people feel and situations around us, even when, of course, we're not, we're just a little kid. We can feel like we've done something wrong and that we're not good enough, or that we're not worthy. And that unconscious feeling can carry forward with us in life and cause us to not move towards the things we desire, to self-sabotage, because if there's any part of us that doesn't feel worthy of that, that can actually become a block that gets in the way. And then in those situations, we can feel this push-pull, this resistance to moving forward into things we actually want to create. So we drop into worthiness, inherent worthiness, the kind of love that you would give a baby or a puppy that you're holding in your arms, this beautiful, bright soul that just came into the world. That's who we all are, our own soul, our own light, our own consciousness. And we go through these experiences in life that can cause us to not feel that way or forget that part of ourselves. So we drop into that inherent worthiness, the beauty that you are as a pure divine being, as a pure divine consciousness. We drop into that and remember that part of ourselves and know, of course, we are worthy of creating the life we want. So that can be something that really shifts things quite rapidly too. And then the other thing that I found can be a blind spot or a block that can slow us down is we manifest what we want and then we stop our practice. So stopping either once you've got what you've desired manifestation is, or you stop before you get it. Maybe you feel like, oh, it's not coming, but maybe you just needed a little more time. Or maybe there was a couple more steps to shift along the way. So when we give up, of course, our frequency is not going to keep moving because our intention has changed, our energy has changed, our action has changed. So that's why I really wanted this membership to be something that is a practice that you guys can have. And I have made it a price to be what I believe to be very accessible for you guys, as well as something that's going to help you to energetically commit and show up, because that's a huge part of it. When when it's a practice of devotion to your soul, to your purpose, to your desires, to your joy, to what you want to do and create in the world, when you have that practice, powerful things are able to happen very quickly. But it does call for you to show up. And so that's what we do together. We're in this space where we come together, where you can be held and you can shift the things that are blocking you, and you can step into your inner wisdom and knowing. And from that place, you can take aligned action. And this is a way for you to be in that practice, be in that flow, and continually nourished and supported by your community, by these tools, so that you can have sustainable expansion and growth in a way that feels really, really good in your body. All right. So some of the mindset things to watch out for, guys, is because so much of it is mindset. And like I kind of talked about that a little bit, just coming into from a place of devotion. That's a really beautiful, that's part of mindset. It's like, what is my intention as I move into this? What are my thoughts and beliefs around this? So I'm just going to touch on some of the thoughts and beliefs to watch out for, and as well as some of the ones to drop into. So some of the beliefs that can happen is, I already know this, and I've definitely been there. No judgment. My mind has left all of these things I'm going to talk about. So I already know this. So it could sound like, I've already heard of this. I understand this. I know these tools. I know these principles. I read a book on it. But it's one thing to know, and it's another thing to embody. So the work that we do is very experiential. You will learn, understand how these pieces work, so your mind can process and understand and navigate it. But when we actually come together in live classes, it is experiential. So it's not just about theory, it's about embodying. And so life reflects back to you what you consciously or unconsciously think, feel, and do. And if there's in any area where you feel stuck or stalled, that just means that you're being called into a deeper sense of embodiment in that space. And so If there's any aspect of your life that does not feel fully joyful and free and expansive, that's an invitation to drop into deeper embodiment and understanding and knowing and being in that way. And so that's what we do together through live experiential classes of shifting, of connecting, of creating steps to move forward. And it all comes from divine consciousness and from your own inner guidance. So I'm not a guru, I'm a guide. There's not a hierarchy here. It's like a circle, and we come together to move forward through our shared intention of what we want to create in our life that is aligned with our soul, with our spirit, with our body. So another mindset piece to watch for is, I already tried this, I already tried X, so this isn't going to work for me. And so maybe you've tried lots of things. Maybe you've done lots of stuff and it didn't get you the results that you wanted. And so when our mind thinks that, I already tried this, so this is not going to work, what we're doing in that moment is we're taking the past experience that we probably weren't happy with the outcome, and we're projecting it into the future. So we're saying, this happened then, so it'll happen again. Now, this is an unconscious pattern of creating what we don't, more of what we don't want. And so it's a way for the mind to shut down and say, nope, that's not going to work for me. And so that can be also a mechanism of the mind trying to protect itself from something unfamiliar, what it doesn't know. So it's about becoming conscious of what is unconscious. So watching for thoughts like that, because change happens when you're ready and when you decide that it does. When you really decide in your being, this is what I'm going to do, because you are a powerful being, and when you decide, things change. So instead of projecting the past onto the future, you can decide in this moment to create the life you want and be willing to listen to the guidance and the opportunities that come into your life with an open mind, with an open heart, because every moment is new. Every moment is different. You are a new being every single moment. So let go of the past and allow a new possible future. I need tea. I have to cough. One moment. Oh, excuse me. You guys ever have that happen where you get a tickle in your throat and then you start tearing? All right. I'd love to hear again. Is this resonating with you guys? Feel free to drop in the chat. Will I drink my tea? I'm not a really big talker, so I think it's also a lot of talking, but it's fun. I like being here with you guys. Okay. So a mindset that is great to drop into in all situations, and this is like just in life, in all situations, ask yourself, how is this happening for me? How is it happening for me? So sometimes unconsciously, we can go through things in life that didn't feel good, difficult experiences, experiences of scarcity, of being rejected, of all of these things that don't feel good. And the mind can start forming these unconscious beliefs that that life is not happening for us, that life is happening against us. And Einstein said you can learn a lot about a person by asking them, is the universe a friendly place? Because what they believe is going to be the software through which they see reality. And what you believe and how you see reality is what your mind is going to create and make your 3D reality. And so why not have this software piece, this lens of seeing the world? If we have divine will and we can see it however we want to, why not let in this, that life is happening for me? You know, Rumi said, live as if life is rigged in your favor. Wouldn't that be amazing? So in every opportunity, in every situation, look deeper into how could this help me grow, expand? How could this opportunity create more abundance in my life for me and for everyone involved? So, and one sec here, I'm gonna drop down. So be open to the universe always conspiring for you. Every experience, positive or negative, is in some way trying to help you. If it's negative, it's feedback coming into awareness. There's something here that needs to be shifted. If it's positive, it's feedback. There's something here that is aligned. Continue moving forward in things that feel aligned, joyful. Everything is happening for you. As Eckhart Tolle said, everything that you experience is exactly what you need to experience in that moment. How do you know? Because it's the experience you're having. So beautiful. So, let me see. So be open to the universe always conspiring for you. And at the same time, you can have healthy boundaries in what you choose to give your energy to. So give your energy to things that feel light and freeing and expansive and joyful in your body, in your heart, and step away from things that feel draining and toxic. And this can be beliefs, patterns, unconscious things, situations, people. Just don't feed energy to that. As you don't feed it energy, it will fade, and what you feed energy to will grow. So point your intention in the direction of where you want to go, where you want to be. Ah, beautiful. Awesome. This is Z. So excited. This is Sam. I love that, you guys. So, yes, so the membership is going to be opening tomorrow, and I'll give you a little bit more information about it. We're going to have live weekly calls where we come together and we connect with spirit, we connect with divine consciousness, with our intention, individual, and the shared intention in the group. And from that space, I guide you guys in a clearing session where I'm able to feel into the energy of the group, into the individual and the collective, and I'm able to help you clear using the clearing statements anything that's been coming up. And you guys are able to share live in the chat. You're able to talk about it in the group. It's going to be all over Zoom. You're able to talk about, okay, here's what's coming up for me. Here's what I want to shift. Here's what I want to let go of. And then we connect with divine consciousness from a very energetically supported place. And from that place, we're able to rapidly shift things very quickly with intention, with clearing statements. I'm able to help see and feel and move these things with you guys and for you guys with your willingness, with your openness and participation. We're able to rapidly shift things that may have been there for lifetimes. Maybe it's ancestral, maybe it's all through these deep layers of your energetic matrix, but we can shift that very quickly. And then as we shift that, things change, experiences change, opportunities that come into your life change, miracles happen, synchronicities happen. So we come together and each week we work on these different aspects of these stages of clearing, of awareness, of clearing, on envisioning, on taking the mind to action, on being in that flow, being in that frequency. So it's a lot of stepping into your deeper authenticity of your soul, of your being, of your mission in this world, of why you chose to incarnate into this life, and being supported by divine consciousness. You can connect with spirit guides or source or whatever it is that resonates for you, that is right for you. You are here to be supported. You are not alone. And so when we try to do it all ourselves, it's a lot harder than remembering that we are supported and we are guided. And so it's about learning how to drop into that space. And we do a lot of that live experiential classes together. So any questions you guys have, feel free to drop them in the chat or send me a DM. I'm happy to share them with you. And then I'm going to be sharing out the membership tomorrow where you will have access to all of the information, even more details. All the pricing is going to be there, and there'll be a link where you can sign up right there as well. So I'm really excited for you guys. I haven't done a membership before that is this focused. It'll be very focused on creating abundance, what that looks like for you. So we'll definitely be financial abundance. I know it's a big piece for people. Also abundance in all areas of your life so that you feel fulfilled, happy, healthy, free to move forward in a way that feels whole for you. Dee says, focus on what serves your purpose, 100%. Great, you guys. So I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for being here, sending you guys my love, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.